This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and I wanted to thank Sphere Rocket VA, our awesome sponsors, for connecting me today with Tricia Turner. Tricia, welcome.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. So let's get to know all about you. Take us back to the beginning. Who's Tricia? Where are you from? What market are you in now? And how'd you find yourself in real estate?
Love it. So name's Tricia Turner. I am in Houston, Texas. I've been in real estate over 20 years. Started out as a leasing agent right out of high school, was a lender for 6 years too. Was in real estate sales for years and then got my broker's license a few years ago. Opened my own independent brokerage after working for every big box company out there for years and decided I didn't like their methodology. And so did my own thing. Had 50 agents super quick in my office, realized that was kind of chaotic as well and not the smartest move. And then EXP came along and changed my life. And so been with EXP since October of 2018. Am now surrounded by some of the top performers in the industry across the nation. We collaborate all the time. They're some of my closest friends and we're making a difference in the world and I love it every day.
You're absolutely right. You know, EXP is blazing a trail for the industry.
Big
now,
time.
Tricia, how did EXP present itself to you? You know, because it's hard switching brokerages. So how did EXP come across? And then you were like, okay, this is it for me. I have to make the jump.
Yep. So first of all, I'm very innovative. I'm forward thinking. I'm a business owner. I always have been, and I'm a visionary. So when I opened my own brokerage, it was because I didn't like what the other companies were doing and I wanted to do my own thing because I believed I could do it better and I could help the agents better. And as a broker, when you take on that role, that is supposed to be your job, is to make sure you're providing the best for them and making sure that you're doing everything you can to make them have a better life. And so when I did that, that was always the goal. However, if you know the statistics in real estate, it's like the average agent only sells 4 to 6 homes a year, and they only make like $39,000 a year. Well, I was never in that number because I'm a hustler. However, when the first year I opened my company and had to do 1099s, I'm like, wow, out of 50 agents, there's like 6 that actually sell real estate and make over $75,000 a year. The rest make under 40 and some make under 20. And that, to me, was just mind-blowing. And I realized at that point, and of course, I was a top producer, and so I was basically funding everything, our whole organization with my production, which is also not smart. And so that was a frustrated time there. And I was already coaching with Jay Kinder and Michael Reese. And so they had an independent brokerage in Dallas, and they switched theirs over to EXP. And they did, after a couple of months of being in that, they reached out to me and they're like, look, here's the deal. You need to come to Frisco and look at this business model. Basically, you have a Blockbuster and EXP is Netflix and they're going to shut you down. So you can either make the wise decision and come with us and we're going to change the world, or you can continue doing what you're doing. And the next 2 to 5 years, you will be one of those solo companies that's sitting out there. And I'm like, no, I'm not planning on being by myself. And so that was in October of 2000. They reached out to me in August of 2018. We switched over in October. And that was a super hard time because I had 50 agents and it was an independent brokerage. And basically the agents were able to do kind of what they wanted. It was done all transactionally. And so not all of them had the same vision as me. And so really only like 20 of the 50 wanted to go to EXP with me. And the rest did not. Some were horrible. Some were spread rumors that we were going out of business. And it was really a hard couple of months there making the transition and going through all that drama. But I knew in my heart and my soul that this was the right decision, that number one, they would never misguide me. And number two, I'm a business owner. It's like look at the model. There's no other real estate company out there that's a global company and that can provide this many avenues of income. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, it's going to be hard right now, but we're going to get through it. And shoot, after a couple of months of ironing all out, how do we go from an independent brokerage to a team model and figuring all that out? It's like game changer then. And my life's never been the same. It gets better day by day. And I just said it to somebody this morning. I was like, you know what? Like in the last probably 2 months, doors are just opening that I never even saw before. And things are just happening the way they're supposed to, you know? It's the people you surround yourself with matter, period.
Oh, 100%. You know, if you're a hustler, you got to surround yourself with hustlers because, you know, they like to say like that it only takes one toxic person to take down an entire team. And it's true. That's how powerful toxicity is. And so you want to surround yourself with people, like you said, you know, that would never misguide you. For those that didn't want to come to EXP, good. We probably don't want you over here anyway. But honestly, I bet if we circle back to the 30 that didn't come, I bet a couple have already made the jump.
Oh, for sure. You know that. And when you think about it, it's like with us, you know, when you look at the statistics, you so 95% of the world are followers, 5% are leaders. What I tell everybody, I'm like, now that I've been in the company 3.5 years, it's like pretty much the 5%ers are who you're going to find in as honey badgers for sure, and who you're going to find in EXP. And so when you put that many people together under one umbrella in anything, you're not going to shut that thing down because it's an animal. And the goal is just to change the world, you know, and that's what we're doing. And so for people out there that don't see it, you can't make everybody see it. Eventually they will. Maybe it'll be too late. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, when you look at the death, I call it the death of the individual agent that's at a discount brokerage that has no training, no guidance, no nothing, and they're just on this like island. You see that middle ground there, that's disintegrating. It's like you either have or you have not. And the haves, like us, the mega teams, people that are really making a difference, they're having a lot. And the have-nots, unfortunately, are having a lot of nothing. And so I tell everybody, you need to get with people that are making a difference and pay attention to who you're paying attention to. Get with the people that have, because it's not because they have things because they're greedy. They have because they're doing the right things with the right people and they're making a difference and they're giving back. And when you give back, it always comes back, you know?
Right. No, one of my first icons I ever interviewed was like, here at EXP, you learn, you earn, and then you return, right? You give back to it and it comes back to you. You get from EXP what you give. And, you know, you saw the model, Tricia, and you saw the collaboration here. And, you know, what really makes you say, I'm never leaving EXP?
Yeah, that's an easy one. Easy because for me, when I just had my independent brokerage, like when they tell you it's lonely at the top, it is because I, again, had 50 agents, but I was the one out producing everybody. And so people look at you differently. They don't want to hang out with you. Your competitors surely don't want to hang out with you. And so when I had that collaboration, which was immediate as soon as I joined EXP with other like-minded people, you synergize on that. It's like, I need to be around that more and more and more. So we travel probably every 4 to 6 weeks to go to masterminds, to do something together, because you need that. Once you get around it, it's like your soul needs it, your mind needs it, so that you can come back into your environment and enlighten the people around you and engage the people around you and fire them back up. Because when your job as a leader and you raise your hand, you're like, I'm going to take these people to where they've never even thought of, or I'm going to make sure they stay on path. I'm going to make sure I bring them all the right tools I'm supposed to. I believe when you say yes, that you're going to do that, then you're irresponsible if you don't. If you don't get up every day and make the decisions and make the right commitments and make the right goals, shame on you. You shouldn't be in that leadership position. And so for me, it becomes like a responsibility, because if I said yes, and if I change my mind now, then who are they going to listen to? And right. So I think as you look at the history of real estate and you look at the future of what's projected and the disruptors, again, if you're not paying attention to the right things and the right people, you could become irrelevant in the next 2 to 3 years. And that's kind of scary.
You're so right. You know, evolve or get left behind.
Oh, big time. Yes.
That's just how it goes. Look at history. Look at science. You know, evolve or get left behind. And that's just the way it is. And Tricia, you know, obviously you're a hustler. You're a leader. I'm sure you've got mentees. I know you work with mentors. So, you know, at the end of the day, how do you take care of Tricia? How do you make sure you're not running on full burnout mode all the time?
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in a morning routine, feeding your mind, body, and soul. I'm not a big sleeper. I've never been a big sleeper. I get up at 3:45 in the morning and I go to bed somewhere between 11 and 12:30 at night. So that's just how I've run.
Tricia, can you teach me how? I'm like, my least favorite part of every day is getting out of bed. I love my
Seriously?
job. I love everything, but I hate waking up. I've hated it since I was young. My parents would have to pour cold water on me to get me out of bed in high school. And they're like, she'll outgrow it. I have not
You're
outgrown
still
it.
that way.
Yes,
love
I
it.
hate it. So if you
Are
want to
you a
do a
night owl
mastermind lesson on how to get out of bed, I will attend.
So you must be a night owl then.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part.
And see, I'm not really like my brain. And they say, like, when you study stuff, most people, their brains are most creative in the first 3 or 4 hours that they're awake. For me, that's 1000% true. And so I went through a divorce in '08 and I was a single mom. I have 3 kids and I was a single mom for years and a hustler. I got to work because I didn't have any help. And so I had to find time and I work out. So I had to find time. When can I work out? Because one of my child's is special needs. And so when he was awake, he needed my attention or a caregivers if I was at work. So for me, the only time I could have by myself was early in the morning. So when that happened, I used to get up at 4. And so I would have my time to work out. I have time to read. I read scripture. I write. I need to have that time, just quiet time when the rest of the world's asleep.
Sure.
I've backed it up to 3:45 just because I need more extra time. But I literally block out from like 3:45 until about 8 o'clock. That's my time. I'm working out. I'm reading. I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that my mind, body, and soul are right to get out there and handle what I got to do all day long. And I think everybody
great.
needs
You
that.
found what recharges you, which is awesome because by that time, like you're most creative in the morning, you're most productive. Those times I'm a zombie anyway. I'm so used if I'm awake. So I just stay in bed. But that's awesome, that you found that recharges you. You like spending time with the fam, obviously, but you know that you need that time alone. And so you've made time for it, which is incredible.
One of the other coolest things about EXP, I believe, as I just thought about it as you were saying that,
Yeah.
also traveling, because we go to masterminds all the time and they're gone. You got to go. We all go together. It's like with Justin, he has them too. And we go to all of these things because we need that and that feeds our soul. And what it's made me realize in the last, especially 2 years since COVID, is that we can build our life around the way we want it to be, a life on purpose. I believe 1000% we can do this. And the more you get around people that are already doing it and modeling it and you learn from them, you're always in learner mode, then you can kind of create the life that you want. What do you want your life to look like? Because the ability to be able to do that is a blessing and a very rarity. I mean, most people don't. There's most of the world that gets up every day and has to work a schedule. They work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever it is. Some of it's mundane tasks they do every day. And I know a lot of people are like that. And that's great and fine for them. But for those of us that are visionaries and those of us that want to be part of something big, there's no other model that you can do the things that we do. And actually, when we're traveling, that's when we're making big things happen. And then we come back and actually just take those next steps. And EXP is one that opened the doors for all of that, and at least in my world. And for that, I mean, why would I ever leave that? I always tell people that. I'm like, why would I ever leave? And I tell people this all the time. I go to Lakewood Church. And so Joel Osteen always says at every sermon, he's always like, give us a year, I guarantee you. Come for a year, I guarantee you will change your life. I tell people that with EXP. I'm like, try it for a year. If you don't forget, if your life doesn't change, even in 6 months, go back to what you knew. Go back if that's where no harm, no foul. But I can promise you, your life will never be the same. It's truth.
You're absolutely right. And like what other company gives you opportunity to earn your cap back? What other company gives you an opportunity to take a couple of days of vacation, but at the same time, when you come back, you have all these brilliant business ideas that you can implement. So not only are you recharged, but you have a running list of new ideas that you get to implement in your business and start to duplicate and really crank things up. And, Tricia, speaking of cranking things up, like you're an Icon Award winner, you've got some high production. I would love to see the Icon Award through your eyes. What is the Icon Award to you? What benefits did you love about it? And how did you give back to the EXP culture?
So, to be honest, the Icon Award, I'm not one, I'm very humble. So I'm not one that ever is like, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. So
Yeah.
when the awards come in, I think they're great and they're in my office for sure. And I think it's an awesome thing. It's recognition because clearly people recognize an icon agent. Number one, then of course it gives you your 16,000 back in stock. So you're constantly earning stock in the company, but
So nice.
it puts you on a different level as far as training other agents. And I believe one of the biggest broken things in the industry is training because most brokerages don't offer training or they say they do but they really don't, and you're kind of left on your own to do things. And with the icon award, you're expected to give back, so you have to go into the world and teach or moderate 10 times, and share your knowledge or share your wisdom or be on a panel or be a moderator. And people need that. And I think as we continue to grow and this metaverse continues to grow and people are like hungry for knowledge and are expected to know more, the
Right.
consumers are expecting us to be experts, as we should be. But unfortunately, these new agents aren't trained well. And so in that icon position, you're expected and required to give back and to train people up. And I think that's the right thing to do culturally for sure.
Yeah. So, are you a mentor? Do you teach lessons? Which one did you focus on?
So I do lessons. I'm not a mentor because I have a big organization here, and so I mentor my people here. I have a lot of people, and my partner and I we're recruiting all the time, and our target really is new agents because when you look at the real estate agent population, it's at an all-time high. It's never been this high ever in the history of real estate. And so when you look at them, I mean, you can go one of two ways. You can either turn your back to the new agent and be like, yeah, I don't have time for them. I'm not going to train them. And then what? I don't know what's going to happen to these people. Maybe this is their only solution. Maybe they'll be really good at it. Maybe if somebody would pour into them, there's hope for them because it's a hard industry. So you can either turn your back on all the new agents that are coming in, or you can embrace them. You can build out a system of training. You can be there to support them, help them, guide them, and put people in place to actually make sure they're successful. And then what a difference you'll make in the world. And so we've taken that role. We've chosen to embrace the new agent. We've built out a whole training here in my office. We have onboarding that's bar none, and then we are on top of them. So it's like, if you do these things, say these things, do everything that we've provided for you, we have a whole system built out for you, exactly what you should do Monday through Sunday. And if you'll do these things, your pipeline will stay full and you'll live in abundance. And for those agents that are out there willing to do those things, they do. And so are you going to get every one of them? No, it's the same numbers. Usually 1 out of 10 is going to be a producer and actually do what you tell them to do. But again, it's knowing the numbers and believing in what you're doing and believing that you're making a difference, and then just getting up every day and implementing these things every day and being relentless, period.
100%. 100%. Now, Tricia, for those that are newbies watching this, obviously, you work with a lot of new real estate agents. So is the Icon Award something that is in reach with them within their first year? Or, what are some little goals that they should set out? What's some advice for the newbies watching that see the big shiny Icon Award?
Oh yeah, definitely. Is it doable? Yes. If you're a hustler willing to do the work, I believe everybody can be successful if they're willing to do the work and if you're around the right people. Because if you surround yourself with people that are doing the 2 and 3 hour lunches and the happy hours and really not putting in the actual grit and the high leverage activities, no, you're not going to make Icon. But if you actually treat real estate as a job, you work your calendar and you do the work, and you're going to work more than 40 hours, I can promise you that. But surround yourself with like-minded people that are willing to pour into you and engage. Be coachable. Coachable is one of our number one core values here. And be open-minded and let people help you and let people train you and join something that's big. Be part of something that's big. Yes, you can definitely hit Icon. Yep, for sure.
Tricia, earlier you touched on it a little bit, like, if you're not coming over here, you're robbing yourself, like just kind of like, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to hear about something that can completely change your life. So to those people that are sitting on the fence right now and, they're seeing the grass is greener, they're like, this place is a cult, this place is a pyramid scheme, I'm not making the switch. What would you have to say to somebody that's sitting on that fence right now watching this episode?
So funny. So we were interviewing agents yesterday, new agents, and I had a similar conversation with them. And I told them, because with EXP, there's so many other ways that you can build income instead of just transactional, which is every other company.
Oh, yeah.
If once you sell a home, but your commission check is your paycheck, and then you're basically hunting for your next one. With EXP, there's so many other ways to make income, one of them being stock. So you can buy stock at a discount, you can be awarded stock. And like I told them yesterday, I was like, here's what I know, that I wish I would have gotten involved in Google when Google first came around. I wish I would have gotten involved in Netflix when they first came around. Every disruptor, Uber, Airbnb, all those ones that have disrupted the industries, if you look at them now, their stock is insane.
Right.
Anyone that was invested early in the company is a freaking billionaire.
Yeah.
And I told them, you know what? I believe in the model 1000%. I believe this is the future. I believe this is the best real estate company ever. I wouldn't have left my own if I didn't think that. And I'm going to trust in those beliefs, and I'm going to trust in all the visionaries that are part of this company. And if this stock does anything close to what those other disruptors have done in 5 years from now, we're going to be sitting pretty. And you know what? We're like, well, it could be a gamble. And I said, every day in life is a gamble. We have no guarantees, period. What I know is that the people that we're surrounded with and the people that run this company are visionaries. They're not going anywhere, and they're not about to go out of business. They're out there to make life better for others and to make the real estate industry better and for us to all be millionaires. And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. In this life, Tricia, is change. And you've got to change, or you're going to get left behind. And you owe it to yourself to check this stuff out, because you're right. If this is a blockbuster Netflix deal, you're going to be real sorry if you didn't go to lunch with Tricia 10 years ago to hear about this EXP.
Yeah, don't wait. What are you waiting for?
Nothing. You're waiting on the world to change it. EXP is the one changing it.
Heck yeah. Come join us. It's a fun group. We have fun. We have high energy. Clearly, we have a lot of energy. Like our core values, it's like, and core values are a big thing. And I know a lot of people don't live by core values, but you should. We do. And they're ingrained in you. And they're ingrained in our organization and within EXP and all the people that we collaborate with. And so for ours are the acronym CARES. And so C is the number one. You got to be coachable. A, you got to be accountable. R, you got to be relentless. E, you got to be enthusiastic. And S, you got to be self-disciplined. And if you will live by those standards and live by those core values, you'll be fine. Sky's the limit.
You're so right. And with EXP, I mean, there's so many amenities that you could pick up: training, mentoring, coaching, masterminds, collaboration, stock options, revenue share. There are so many different paths that you can take. It's really unique. And Tricia, I think that this has been a fabulous episode. I'm inspired. I'm amped up. I'm like,
good. You're not a morning
today, huh? You want to come over? You want to join? You join. EXP for you. Is there any final words that you want to leave the listeners with today?
Yeah, for sure. I believe like I said, I was a single mom, and I went through the trenches. I went through dark times. I know what it's like to be in debt. And I know that with the right people in your life and the right companies supporting you and the right training, anybody can be successful. Single moms, whoever you are, individual agents, whatever, get with the right people, make sure that you're open-minded, be coachable, and let us help you. Because I tell you what, EXP's changing lives every single day, and I'm super grateful.
So well said, Tricia. Tricia, I look forward to seeing you at EXPCon and shareholders. Let's get connected. And, if you have any ideas for a spinoff episode on the Icon podcast, later on, just send me the questions to ask you, and we'll get an episode out for you.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at SphereRocketVA.com and find out how we can make your life easier.